We are fucking. Hello everyone, I'm Wiki, and if you watched any of my videos, you know this one is not exactly common. I normally don't show my face, I normally don't show my room, I normally have a script to talk something that I need to talk about, and especially normally I am talking about anime or manga or anime related stuff. Given today's topic, I thought it would be only fair that I didn't use any kind of copyrighted material. So here we are. Why are we here? What is this video about? Today I want to talk about Japanese copyright laws and fair use in Japan. First things first, don't get alarmed, I did not get copyright claimed, I did not get copyright strike, and my channel is not about to die, nothing like that. I just made this video out of curiosity, if you could say that, like most of my other videos. And why is that? Well, if you were in the anime community since at least November, you most likely heard about the whole incident between Totally Not Mark and Toei Animation. And if you were a little bit deeper in the bubble, you also heard about the Suede and ShowPro situation, which sadly ended with my boy needing to turn off his channel. And also, that was not the first time that ShowPro went after someone. That was just the first time that there were borderline criminal. Supposedly, Your Honor. And as you may know, if you know any of those cases, you know that they were completely related to how copyright laws in Japan work and how they do not have a fair use system in there. Oh, but Wiki, that happened 3 months ago, why are you talking about that just now? Well, first of all, because it would be not me if I was not completely late to talk about something. And second, this may come as a shock to you, probably not actually, but even though those two cases were the ones that people really talked about and stuff like that, truth is that in Anitubers, everyone is getting copyright claimed or copyright striked every day. It's like an unspoken rule on YouTube. When you create your YouTube channel, they will ask you what kind of content you want to make. When you say anime, they will give you a copyright claim as a gift, right off the bat. Even I, my small channel, got copyright claimed once. Which is why I also use that presenting area in every single video since the Shaman King one. A good other example is Mr. Hunter, a small Anituber that I follow that just recently reached 10k subs that almost got his channel deleted thanks to some ReZero content. Everyone in Anitube deals with copyright problems every day, every time. Someone is getting copyright claimed at this exact moment as I'm talking. So, Future Wiki here, and that's kind of funny. You see, right after I said that I did not get a copyright claim and stuff like that, while I was editing this video, I kind of got copyright strike in my first video ever. This just serves to prove what I was saying. Everyone is getting copyright claimed at every time, even me, and YouTube surely heard me saying that. Just to aggregate my video, you see, oh, I was saying the truth. Oh shit. And one thing that bothered me during those two big cases was that no one was quite clear of how the Japanese laws worked related to copyright. Everyone just said that, oh, they do not have fair use, or oh, their copyright laws are not exactly like ours, and something like that, but they were never really specific. And given, it was not expected from them to know also. Come on, they are talking about laws of a completely different country, they have no need to know that. But as I am someone that can be affected by that, I thought, yeah, I should probably look up at that a little bit more to know what exactly can and cannot do related to Japan, at least. And now I decided to make this video just to share with all of you what exactly did I learn. And keep in mind that it was not exactly a lot, because Japanese laws are, in who could have guessed it, Japanese. And even though I've been studying Japanese for a year and a half, I did not exactly learn enough to know how to read complex law documentation. And also, yeah, they don't have any kind of official translation from that. So, your boy started in a good place. First of all, let's talk about copyright as a whole. Japan, like most countries in this beautiful planet we live on, was a party in the Berne Convention, which, for those of you that don't know, was basically the first international copyright policy to take place and the founding stone to the copyright laws as we know nowadays. And on top of that, Japan is also one of the members of the World Intellectual Property Organization. As such, Japanese copyright laws work fundamentally the same way that the US and the other countries. So if they work in the same way, they should have something like a fair use clause, right? Yeah, about that. You see, the copyright laws are more of guidelines than actual rules. Every country has the foundations of what the WIPO norms are, but how they apply it is completely up to them. So even if they have the same basis, their laws most likely will differ in some way. A good example for this is this thing right here. An attorney by the name of Keiji Sugiyama wrote this article back in 2001 where he compared some cases that were taken in both US and Japanese courts and presented how they were similar in some parts, different in others. There are a lot of things being compared here, lots of different cases, a lot of similar cases with different outcomes, even when talking about fair use exactly. But the major thing to take from all of this is that Japanese copyright laws work in a fundamentally different way than the US ones. How is that the Japanese copyright laws are author-centered? What do I mean with that? I mean that the Japanese copyright laws work fundamentally in a way that they always will have the author/creator of something as the main focus of whatever it is happening. They will do everything that they can to screw someone that uses some kind of material that was not authorized by the creator. That's also the reason why when you follow someone that makes Japanese related content. A good example for this, the Trash Taste Boys, as they are the only ones that I actually follow. They will eventually complain about how they need to get permission to use anything that they record. Why is that? Because if they do not get permission, they can and they most likely will get copyright claim. Now that we are kind of aware of how the copyright laws work in Japan, let's talk about the fair use system. You must be thinking after learning about copyright laws, oh, but I can get copyright claimed for anything, oh my god, even if I have just a t-shirt or something like that, I will get striked just because I did not get permission from someone to use it. Kinda. They have some things to talk about related to this kind of thing. Before we dive into fair use, we must first remember that the fair use system is something that is supposed to be used only when we are getting sued about copyright laws. They are mechanisms to defend ourselves, not an actual rule, not an actual law that takes priority over anything. They are a defense system, okay? So, fair use as we know in the US, as we like to use on YouTube and stuff like that, does not exist in Japan. They simply do not have this kind of clause in there. If you look even deeper, here in the fair use page in the Japanese Wikipedia, we have some kind of history of how fair use laws tried to be implemented in Japan or how something similar to them work in there. Don't worry, I also cannot read this. I just threw everything in GPL. But the basic thing here is that they have some kind of rules similar to fair use as how they like to claim. They have some cases where their copyright laws are not absolute, some kind of thing like when the creator of something is not doing exactly legal stuff or something like that. And they even talk about how in 2015 they tried to implement an actual fair use system in Japan. But it was completely thrown out of the window. Every Japanese company related in some kind of way to entertainment was against the fair use system being implemented there. Talking about how it was too abstract, how it would be easy to do crimes using their materials with that. A lot of arguments just to actually say that they did not want people to use in their material without their consent. Okay? So yeah, that's what we have basically. Like we talked before, if they do not have anything related to copyright, it would be complete chaos. Someone wearing a Demon Slayer t-shirt would get struck just by existing and stuff like that. And like this says here, they have some kind of similar rules as they like to claim to be, so that they can work around this kind of thing. An example for those is this thing here. The Utsuri Komi, which if we try to directly translate would be something like ghost picture. This rule, this law, this idea, I don't even know how to call this thing. It basically says that someone that happens to be wearing some kind of copyrighted material, happens to pass by some kind of copyrighted material, would not be directly sued or anything like that if they were under certain conditions, which are: the copyrighted work are incidentally included in your photo, movie, recording, or other works. Your use of copyrighted work is minor, and your use can be considered as fair as it does not unfairly infringe the right of copyright holder. What the fuck does that mean? Let's give you a practical example. This thing right here behind me, my Kagero Project 10th anniversary tapestry. This thing was in the background of the video during this whole time, right? You saw that I did not get up and put it there. You saw it since the beginning. As the video was going, that was completely okay to be there. It was no problem at all. It would not give me any problems. At this present moment, as I pointed at it and talked about it, I could get copyright claimed for it. Because I did not ask permission for whoever made this. I did not ask permission from Jin, who is the original creator. I did not get permission from Sido, who is the original character designer. I did not ask permission for whoever the fuck printed that thing to use it. This is where these 3 rules apply. The first one, the copyright work incidentally included, is what was happening before. It was just there in the background. It was scenery. It was not a problem. The work is minor. It was not something that the video was focused on. And this third thing right here. This is the biggest bullshit in this whole system. They did not want to add the exact fair use clause in their laws because it was too abstract. But this third rule here basically is the same thing. It's just saying that whoever is judging this can decide if it is fair or not should the thing to be present in the video. So, yeah, it makes not much sense, right? It just means that they did not want to apply the exact fair use laws because they did not want to. Just that's the main reason. So they try to come up with a lot of bullshit to try to say, oh no guys, look, we are also cool, we also have some kind of thing similar. Which they actually do not. They do not have something that is proper fair use. And that's really all I could tell you about this kind of thing. Japanese copyright laws work basically in a way that they will always try to keep whoever created the stuff they are talking about safe, even though the person may not have complained. If you are talking about something and they did not give you permission, the Japanese law will automatically say, oh, you are wrong, you are a criminal, we don't like you. So, where do we go from here? What do we do? How do we avoid this kind of problem? How do we not get copyright claimed? How Anitubers survives and do not get completely nuked if every Japanese company decides to just copyright everyone? I mean, we just keep doing what we are doing, actually. Because there is not anything that we can really do. By their laws, we are criminals. We did not ask permission, at least the majority of us, like 99.9% of us, did not get permission to use any kind of anime-related stuff, or manga-related stuff, or game-related stuff. And unless they are someone like Nintendo, who, after their whole fiasco trying to get partnerships in the beginning of YouTube, said, oh yeah, everyone can use our content as they see fit, it's free sponsorship, go for it. If the company did not make that claim, we are basically at mercy of who wants to sue us at any time. And what I'm trying to say is that we are in the same way that we were before. I'm not saying that you should stop making any anime-related content because, oh, there is no future for that. I'm not saying, oh, go do something else out of your life, go touch some grass, go make actual money or some shit like that. I will keep doing my anime-related stuff because I like to make that. I feel fulfilled making that kind of thing. I am happy doing that. As I imagine most of the small Anitubers and even the big ones are. We make those things because we like making those things, we like talking about what we like. And there is nothing wrong with that. That's also what I like about YouTube, at least when it first started. How people could talk about whatever they wanted because they liked said thing. We just need from now on to at least try to avoid problems. Like, for example, we already know who the big companies that like to strike people are. At least at this moment. We know that you probably should not make One Piece related videos or Dragon Ball related videos because Toei Animation likes to shove it up your ass. You know that you probably should not make Pokemon related videos because Show Pro will try to bite your head off. We have some kind of things we could base ourselves on to make content trying to avoid problems. Yes, of course, that's not a guaranteed way to avoid because any Japanese company could at any time just say, oh no, you can't use this, here's a copyright claim, this content is mine. And we really could not make anything out of it. The only real solution we could have for this is like Sway talking about his video and how Totally Not Mark avoided his problems. Getting region restricted. If we had that button that YouTube once had back in the day that said which countries could and could not see your content, that would be magic. There would be the end of all our problems, everything would be solved. But let's be honest, YouTube will never implement that thing again because they are a company and they work in a way that gives them money. They do not care about small content creators like they should care, even though we are also part of their community. And yeah, that button probably will never come back. I'm sorry, I'm just being realistic. It would be amazing if it did. But the only way that YouTube just does something like that is if we make more noise that they can handle. Like what happened with Totally Not Mark. That's basically the only way that we could get that button back. But even not having that button, like I said, we can just try to do the best we can, never giving up. basically. I'm sorry this video did not end in a happy tone. I did not give you exactly what you needed to do to avoid copyright, but that's how just things works, I guess. We are talking about different laws in different countries. It is not just something simple. I sure hope this video was informative for you in any way, shape or form. I hope you got something from this, and I hope I helped you in any way. I'm Wiki. I hope to see you next time. I make anime related content. I hope you like anything I make. Go look at my channel if you want to. And this is everything I had to say. Bye!